G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an anti-armor Cremator with plus 50% VATS critical damage and 15% bonus VATS critical charge when you land your shots. Last time I used the Cremator, I used it for a bloodied unyielding build, low health. It was pretty good, very dangerous to the player, but I found that it's a pretty effective weapon. So this time I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to go for a full health tanky build with power armor this time. Or maybe not. We'll have to see how that one goes. But we'll explore what applications this thing has in a sort of different playstyle today. Now, the important thing that we've got here is the bonus VATS critical charge. Because at my luck stat at 22 or 23, I think it was, this thing will be critting every other shot. And I don't even have to be at low health, putting myself at risk of dying fairly easily. So potentially for a boss fight further on, this might be the pick just because, well, if I get hit, it's not the end of the world. I can still survive from that. So isn't that pretty nice? We've got a couple of new modifications. I've recently hit Seasons rank 100, which means I've got access to absolutely everything this thing has to offer, which means we can further properly explore every application of what this weapon has to offer. So we've missed out on a couple of things last time. We'll hit up this workbench just to show you exactly what I've got on this thing. And if you've already used this on the scoreboard, you already know what I'm doing here, then you can just go ahead and skip this. So we've got this thing. This is the last thing you unlock on the list. This is at rank 100. This one's just a cosmetic, but I kind of like it anyway. You can change the color of your projectiles. Blue, green, red, and pink. That's nice. Moving on. We've got the multi-shot barrel, which everyone seems to say this is the one they rate this one the most. This is the one that gets the most damage done. Although, if you look at the damage card here, the heavy barrel seems to do a whole lot more. So we might have to do a little bit of testing with this heavy barrel and multi-shot barrel setup to see which one is superior. But I'm wondering whether this is a chance to proc on each of those projectiles. See if we get all of those projectiles hitting, we get a bunch of damage over time. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but with using the multi-shot barrel, we'll see how that one goes. But if it's not doing the job, we'll hit up the heavy one. Obviously, we still got the huge magazine on this one. I saw a little bit of talking about how it might be actually useless to attach such a large magazine on because the reload is so fast. But the sustained firepower that you get, less time between reloads means more DPS. So I'll keep that even though the reload speed is a little bit low. But we've got a perk to alleviate that. Obviously, we've got the Peepers paint. There's also Rip Daring paint. I don't think I showed those off last time, but the Rip Daring paint sucks. Peepers paint is superior. That's my options, my opinion. And last time we chose the slow burn tank, which gives you a great big damage over time over a longer period of time. But the napalm tank will give you extra damage and a stronger damage over time than your standard. So we're going to be running with those today. But if we find that the slow burning tank is better, then, well, we might as well use this one. But we seem to be getting much better damage, at least for the shots from our napalm tank. Let's go out of that. Exit, please, game. Thank you. And now we'll go over to the perks. So, of course, we're going to install our heavy gunner perks. We've changed a little bit over the build to help us out a little bit, including stabilize because, you know, power armor is cool. We've also got Grim Reaper Sprint. That's replacing Serendipity because I won't be at low health, so we won't be able to utilize that perk at all. We've still got Ricochet, though, for tanking a little bit. We've also got better criticals and critical savvy again to maximize our damage from those criticals. We've got a little bit of room for bloody mess. We could get a little bit of extra 10% more if we swap that out for Grim Reaper's Sprint and have that at rank 1 instead. But 35% chance, if I'm getting 3 kills in a VATS round with this thing, chances are I'm getting that action point bar refilled. So that's good. I've also replaced Sneak with Action Girl because, you know, we don't need to sneak if we're using a flamethrower or grenade launcher thing. So, you know, having the ability just to regenerate action points faster. Plus, I'm not using the unyielding armor with already built-in AP refresh. So that's a good idea just to get my AP coming back a little bit faster. There's an option for utilizing something like One Gun Army, but I feel like these VATS-centric perks are going to be better. If we need to cripple something, we've got Cold Shoulder in our back pocket ready to utilize there. Tenderizer is there from last time. I've reduced my endurance a little bit just to fund a little bit of extra points in luck to make sure I can crit after every shot, so we're a little bit weaker there. You could argue that I could swap out Adamantium Skeleton for something else, for example, since I'm doing this in power armor, or maybe not, but that's something worth thinking about. I've also swapped out awareness and green thumb for skeet shooter, just to make my shotguns a little bit more accurate. If I hip fire some targets with it to cripple, then I can do that. What I might do is just give myself a little bit of extra health here, or maybe just maximize my effect from fireproof and then find something else that's useful. And there we go, Life Giver, you can't go too wrong with that. Anyway, so with all those perks deployed, we've got 41 damage times 4, which is not a whole lot. I feel like I mean, the game's going to tell us that the heavy barrel is going to be doing much better damage here, but if you've got any insight to know exactly why the multi-shot barrel is better, please let me know, because that looks way better than this, especially considering since all of those projectiles are split into their own things, all of that is going up against the full brunt of your enemy's damage resistances, so any resistance is going to be more costly for these multiple projectiles than this big one here. So I'm not really sure about this. We're going to roll with the multi-shot, but I'm thinking the heavy barrel might be a better choice for just flat out damage. Okay, so if I'm outside of power armor, I've actually got a full set of overeaters because, you know, overeaters gives you damage reduction, you understand. At least I think it does. It might, you know. It still looks like it gives you damage reduction. I've also done up the power armor in full reduction gear, so, you know, we should be ultra tanky at this stage. Obviously, jumping in this power armor means I won't be able to utilize the armor, the normal armor, but now we're in a suit and we can utilize this thing to its full effect. And look at the crosshairs for a second. Keep that in the back of your mind. If I take stabilize off, the spread immediately goes up. So it looks like accuracy-wise, we can utilize stabilize here. So I think that's going to be good. Perhaps it'll make our accuracy a little bit better in that simply because, well, we don't have all of that perception from the unyielding stat to get us all of that accuracy. So maybe that'll just bring it up a little bit further. Also, I got this poster. Isn't that neat? Alrighty, welcome to the Fallout New Vegas fanboy club annual meeting. We're here to, you know, troll them a little bit by saying, hey, Fallout 76 and Fallout 4 are majorly popular right now. And if they hear that, they go fucking mad. Anyways, let's begin. Got a nice shot in the torso there. One shot kill on the Warlord, one shot kill on the Thingo. So, alright. So far, so good. We're a little bit on fire. Also, yeah, the flavor changes the flavor of the flames too. So you can have like cool pink flames going on. That's really neat. But yeah, these guys are all small fish. That's a demolisher. He gets one shot. Great. Perhaps there's something I'm missing. Perhaps a little bit of unlisted explosive damage. You might have noticed that I was still utilizing the demolitions expert perk. I've got no idea whether that actually works at all as I fly along here like a fucking idiot. This game. Anyways, so far so good. I want to talk about the Fallout show a little bit, how they did the power armor, because it was a lot closer to Iron Man than it was to power armor as we know it in the games. Looks like the explosion radius is good enough. I don't know what it is, but the explosions there were doing, I don't know, 500 each. And since they're all overlaid on top of each other, I'm sure you'll notice I'm critting every other shot, right? So that's definitely doing wonders for the damage output right there. So the way I've done that is I've maxed out my luck stat. Hang on, I should actually explain this. Also, adrenaline charge damage. I've got 53. It's okay. There's more than meets the eye here. There's a little bit more happening than that, obviously. But yes, I've got luck at 15. That's all ranked up. Then I've also got the legendary luck. That's another 5. That comes to 20. And then I've got herd mentality. And then one of my power armor pieces miraculously rolled with a little bit of extra luck. So it's either 22 or 23 is the threshold, but I think you get the idea. Let's go inside and wreak some havoc. I can't move. That's weird. Knowing the amount of damage this deals to enemies, I'm actually a little bit hesitant to get in close. Sure, I've got all of this tankiness against their puny little standard ballistic guns, right? But if I shoot the ground here, okay, it's not too bad, I suppose. 20% health is quite a lot, but for some reason, okay. I don't know, I've noticed with Fallout 76 recently that sometimes you just hold the W button, it doesn't want to move. I thought it was like a plasma caster thing, but no, it happens. It happens for this. That's supremely powerful. That's doing really well. All right, here we go. Yep. So even when I'm in power armor, granted at like 80% health, like this thing can still kill you. So I don't know, maybe I'm still leaning towards the plasma caster because, well, there's no damage to the user whilst using this thing. And maybe I'm expecting a little bit too much out of Fireproof to stop all this damage, but damn, it's strong. I don't even have to crit them. I can just hit them, and that's it. That one required a double tap. Oh, it was legendary, that's why. They changed legendaries a little bit. Instead of having the regenerating health, they just gave them a ton more health, which I don't mind. Sometimes it'd be frustrating though, because the lag wouldn't kick in right before the regeneration cycle. So you could almost kill like a Scorch Beast clean without her regenerating. But I stalled again. Okay, I switched to third person, I can move again. I don't know if it's the gun doing this or if it's Fallout 76 being itself, but not cool, man. Not happy. If I press W, then I want a bloody move, yo. Christ, I did it again. Might be a little bit hard to tell at home at the moment, but it's definitely happening and it's not cool. Anyway, so we'll run into here and we'll try to wreak some havoc. Yes. I'm just thinking against the ghouls, I might consider utilizing like Pain Train or something. Because reloading against the ghouls, you don't have to. You can kill them all in one shot if you want. But just a thought. As I'm running out to gather them into the round. I don't know if this will do better against it, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's stay with the here and now. And these super mutants are getting absolutely slaughtered by it. Like Carlton against Collingwood next week. And I'm going to eat those words, I'm sure, but still. Anyways, so... yeah. I mean, I think we've cleared mostly everything out. There might be a few stragglers here and standing around, not particularly paying attention to the screams and the explosions and stuff going around in the background, but yeah, it's been a pretty cruisy run here. The only damage that I've done or that I've taken is self-inflicted, so that's good. Luckily for me, stim packs are free and abundant because, you know, we're not living in a Fallout universe. It's the same as that TV show variant. Look at this power armor, isn't that cool? Okay, I wonder if equipping and re-equipping the weapon is going to help me out with my stalling problem. Either that or I just need to learn how to drive stick shift. Anyway, so we've got the armor, the Strangler Heart armor, right? So we're getting a little bit of damage over time for everyone around us, so if anything's gonna wake this up, if it's not the power armor stomping around, it'll be the little bit of acid that I'm dropping on them as I'm running around. And unlike last time when I was using a bloodied build and would be probably dead by now with the amount of damage I've copped, I can tank this all day, all night, all decade. Excuse me, fellas. Out of my way, please. Just a little bit. You see, walking around in the crowds, I'm a country boy, so I don't go down to the city very much, but walking through the crowds, you gotta sidestep basically everyone. They don't politely move out of your way, unlike these ghouls. Anyway, so here they come. I'll be back with you whenever they decide to show up. I think they're actually over there attacking the deer, so as soon as they're done, they'll be all eyes on me. Alright, looks like we're waiting for one last straggler, and I've just had a thought. Like, if I ever picked up, like, an instigating version of the Cremator, I would not be able to use it in power armor because they've all taken little bits of acid damage that have compromised their health, their maximum health. So, okay, now's a go time. Nuke from orbit! Look at that. They're all flying everywhere. Oh, that's perfect. A couple of stragglers and they decided, no, we're gonna flee now. See you later. Except for that one. That one's foolhardy. Alright, one last one. Easy choke point. Okay, we did pretty well there. I think we were slightly more efficient than we were last time. We even lured the Wendigo out, which was good. Let's talk about ammo efficiency. Look at that. I think I would have maybe just made a bit back. Let's see. 6, 12, 18, 24. Yeah, okay. I think made about the same that I shot there. A lot of people were talking about how they could make enough ammo to keep this thing self-sustaining and running, but I haven't had that yet. I haven't been able to do that just with random events. So it's not like the Plasma Caster, which is like easily the most ammo efficient weapon in the game. This one's a little bit different, which means you're going to have to invest in it. But the power here, I think, sort of merits that investment. You could probably get away with farming for whatever resources you need for this. Even if you want to invest your perk points in getting the ammo factory thing, then that's perfectly viable there to feed this thing because it is a lot of fun to use and it is an effective weapon if a little bit thirsty. Okay, for this next thing, I'm going to try to save a critical for when we fight the swan. So just a couple of VAT tits away. No more VATs for the rest of this. I'm pretty sure I saw a dude there. Using a jetpack for this weapon is a particularly effective thing because, well, if you can get away with it, flying above these guys and pretending like you're in a starfield or something where you can just float above and explode things from below, just sort of carpet bomb the area. It's a pretty effective tactic there. Also, I haven't really noticed that much from the DPS, from the damage over time after this, but I think we've been killing stuff too quickly, so maybe it's just a little bit of icing on the cake of damage there. But anyways, looks like we've dealt with all of the crackheads. We should have full adrenaline at this point. Yes? No? Yep. So full adrenaline, a crit ready to go, aim for his head. We might even get a little bit of a sneak happening here. Yep, we're sneaking. Sneak. Target his face, activate critical, get into range. And we one-shotted him. Technically 15-shotted him, but I'm impressed. Okay. We all know that the Mylark Queen is a much harder target, so let's just go ahead and... Probably should have targeted something other than the head. Oh, there's the damage over time. That's helpful. That saved me from an extra 15 things. So if you are patient with this thing, I suppose you could argue that you could make some good use out of the damage over time. We'll keep targeting the head. I do like how it kills the Mylark Kings in one shot. And that is very good. We're in danger. We'll activate the critical and... about a third. Yeah, she's a lot tougher than this one, but still dispatching her in just a few shots like that, that's still pretty darn good. So not too bad at all. And we done over here with the crackheads. Yep. We're just wiping the floor with everything. And this isn't bloodied. This is just standard anti-armor, which who even knows if it works. This is Fallout 76. I wanted to switch to third person there, game, but apparently we're just doing a thing. Oh, hang on. Absolutely no chance. You could have ran there, could have fast traveled away, and then you could have escaped with your life. Okay, time to fight some scorched and also scorched beasts. They're the big bats flying around. The NPCs don't seem to give a shit about them. You see all of the Wastelander NPCs talk about him like it's just a problem that'll go away if left alone. So we'll try to grab his attention. Hopefully it doesn't drop too bad. If we can kill him nice and far out here, we can get a third Scorch Beast. That's a crit going to his face. That should make it like a heat seeker. Yep, that worked, kind of. Looks like reinforcements are coming in. Well, this will test my range accuracy. Not too bad. Not too bad. A little bit further. Look at that. Oh, that worked pretty well. So you haven't really sort of dialed in the drop on this thing as of yet, but obviously with such a glowing, flamboyant projectiles, it can't be too difficult. And that one was a legendary Scorch Beast, so those dudes, they don't mess around, but if they're non-legendary, they get one-shotted with a handy crit. Excuse me, could you pop out, please? That one's a little bit resistant, I think, because he wasn't crawled out yet. I was only getting the hits for the projectiles. It was probably the listed damage that you were seeing here, without all of that extra extraneous explosive damage, which is totally unlisted. So if you were in Borderlands 2 using the B shield, all of that damage would get increased. I think there's something under here. I heard something go off. Mole rats. Oh, you little bastards. Seeing mole rats around Fissuresite Prime triggers me immensely because I was doing Scorched Beast Queen runs, right? And obviously, the mole rats being around here, that was scorched. And since they are tunneling, burrowing enemies, no matter where you were, you're in danger. So that means I couldn't get my sneak criticals against the Scorched Beast Queen. So wherever you are, little mole rat, you're about to fucking die a horrible, painful death. But anyways, so that there was an anti-armor, vital, lucky Cremator, and like, even at a high health build where it's basically impossible to kill me except for my own incompetence, this thing is going to fucking crush everything. So I don't know if you want to see this thing fight a Scorched Beast Queen or perhaps an Earl. I think an Earl would be a little bit harder, actually, considering that the space is a little bit more confined. But I'll be looking the next couple of days maybe to take on one of those big bosses so we can see what that's all about. So if you've got any suggestions or any wants or any ideas, desires to see any fights, or if you want a specific version of this thing, because I can re-roll these ad infinitum, so if you want to see a specific version of these things, something we haven't seen before, then be sure to let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's a good weapon, isn't it? It's strong. Stronger than what that'll give you, but I'm just wondering whether it's the explosions that'll do all of that extra damage, which means oh, it's a 4 projectile thing. I saw it was only 3, but there's 4 barrels there, idiot. Never mind. So, yeah, looks like the explosion's doing everything, and that's why the multi-shot barrel reigns supreme. So, this is extremely overpowered. Perhaps you could argue that it's not simply because of how ammo thirsty it is. We started off with just over 2,000 and not 15 minutes of gameplay. We're down to 700, but I suspect this thing might get nerfed at some point, and if it is, then whatever. We've got plasma casters, and I'd still like them better. Whoops. Thank you very much for watching, guys.